Buckingham Palace has reportedly reached a breaking point with Harry and Meghan, a historic rupture that is now sending shockwaves through the very foundation of the British monarchy. And as this crisis deepens, the future of Archie and Lilibet inside the royal family is no longer just a matter of family debate. It is becoming a constitutional question that may change their lives forever. For years, the public perceived the palace as a passive observer, simply ignoring the non-stop interviews, explosive documentaries, and public attacks originating from the Sussex camp. Every shocking headline and television special seemed to be met with the monarchy's traditional stance of never complain, never explain, a total calculated silence that many mistook for indecision. But according to senior royal insiders, that silence was never a sign of weakness. It was a strategic defensive posture maintained while the institution prepared its long-term response. Behind closed doors, palace officials were allegedly drafting a plan that is far bigger, colder, and far more permanent than the Sussexes or the public ever expected. As 2026 unfolds, reports from high-level royal sources claim that official legal discussions surrounding the royal status of Archie and Lilibet have moved from theory into active preparation. This is no longer just speculation floating through tabloids. Sources say conversations inside the inner circles of the monarchy have become serious, structured, and deeply focused on constitutional law. The focus of these high-stakes meetings is reportedly the use of historic laws and precedents to redefine who truly belongs within the active core of the modern British monarchy. Multiple royal commentators suggest the palace is revisiting the 1917 letters patent, a century-old legal instrument that governs the distribution of royal titles. These rules, dating back to the reign of King George V, were established during one of the most volatile and dangerous periods in European history, when monarchies were falling like dominoes. In 1917, the aftermath of World War I saw the collapse of the Romanovs in Russia and the Hohenzollerns in Germany. Britain feared that an oversized, unstable royal family could trigger a similar revolt. To protect the crown, King George V introduced strict guidelines to limit the number of individuals who could officially carry the titles of prince or princess, ensuring a more focused and defensible institution. At the time, this was seen as a necessary survival tactic, but now, over 100 years later, royal experts believe these same administrative weapons are being sharpened to address the current crisis. The re-examination of these rules could directly affect the standing of Harry and Meghan's children, potentially stripping them of future roles or even their current status within the official lineage. A major point of contention for palace officials is the fact that Archie and Lilibet have been raised almost entirely outside the United Kingdom, far from the influence of royal institutions. Royal insiders claim that this geographical and cultural distance from traditions, official systems, and the British public has created insurmountable complications for their long-term roles. While the Sussexes built their independent life in Montecito, the palace became increasingly fixated on the concept of a slimmed-down monarchy, a leaner, more efficient core of working royals. This vision, championed by both King Charles and Prince William, leaves little room for family members who are not resident in the UK and not actively serving the interests of the crown. The tension surrounding these issues can be traced back to Archie's birth in 2019. While the public saw a celebration, the machinery of the palace was already grinding over procedural anomalies. Royal watchers noted unusual changes to the official birth documents. Discussions regarding the phrasing of Meghan's name on the paperwork triggered a fierce debate behind the scenes. What seemed like a minor administrative detail to the public was viewed by palace officials as highly symbolic and a direct challenge to centuries of established protocol and record-keeping. The birth of Lilibet in California in 2021 further exacerbated the divide. Traditionally, royal births are meticulously managed events with formal notifications and direct oversight from the Home Office. Because Lilibet was born privately in the United States, those traditions were bypassed. For the palace, this wasn't just about privacy, it was seen as a final separation from the structure of the monarchy. Another flashpoint has been the children's use of the Sussex surname in public branding, rather than the historic family name Mountbatten-Windsor, established by Queen Elizabeth II. To royal experts, this choice reinforced the palace's view that Harry and Meghan were prioritizing their personal brand over their obligations to the institution they represent. Prince William is widely seen as the architect of the palace's uncompromising stance. He is reportedly committed to a leaner monarchy that is insulated from constant external drama. William's vision for the future involves tightening the rules around residency, public roles, and the use of titles for any family members who choose to live permanently abroad. This approach is a cold, pragmatic calculation designed to ensure the monarchy's survival in a modern world that is increasingly skeptical of hereditary privilege and taxpayer funding. King Charles III finds himself in a tragic position, torn between his instincts as a grandfather and his sacred duty as sovereign to protect the 1,000-year-old institution he now leads. Advisors have reportedly warned the king that making exceptions for the Sussex children could create a dangerous precedent, undermining the very rules that maintain the monarchy's stability. The eviction from Frogmore Cottage was a pivotal moment. By removing their last official base in the UK, the palace effectively severed the Sussexes' remaining physical ties to the royal estate. Without a permanent residence, issues of security, tax status, and future participation in state events have become virtually impossible to resolve, signalling a permanent move towards separation. The monarchy's strategy has been one of patient institutional momentum. They did not need press conferences or public arguments to achieve their goals. They relied on time and protocol. By allowing legal structures and internal systems to slowly create distance, the palace has ensured that the Sussex family's exit from the inner circle is seen as a matter of logic, not emotion. There is a fundamental difference between global celebrity and the institution of monarchy. Fame is fleeting and driven by media cycles. Royal status is anchored in national identity and history. While Archie and Lilibet will enjoy immense wealth and celebrity in California, critics argue they have lost something far more significant, their rightful place in the unfolding history of the crown. In 2026, the question remains, was this outcome inevitable from the moment they stepped back? The palace appears to have adapted to survive, even if it meant sacrificing family unity. The divide now appears deeper and more permanent than ever before, a cold administrative reality that has replaced the once hopeful narrative of a modern, inclusive royal family. This isn't just a family feud, it is a constitutional crisis that challenges how the monarchy defines itself in the 21st century. The palace is choosing preservation over sentimentality. By enforcing historic rules and creating new precedents, the institution is ensuring that the path back for Harry, Meghan, and their children is effectively closed for the foreseeable future. Public opinion remains sharply divided. Some see the palace's actions as a necessary defense against external attacks, while others view it as a cruel exclusion of two innocent children. Regardless of public sentiment, the palace's internal logic remains unchanged. They are building a monarchy that is insulated, controlled, and firmly rooted in British soil, not Hollywood. For Archie and Lilibet, the consequences of this rupture will unfold over decades. They may grow up as American citizens, largely disconnected from the ceremonies and duties of their ancestry. The quiet separation that palace insiders describe is now nearly complete. The future that once seemed certain for the Sussex children has been rewritten by the cold hand of protocol. This investigative briefing has examined the legal, historical, and personal dimensions of the royal break. The evidence suggests a finality that few expected back in 2020. As we continue to monitor the evolving situation in 2026, the question of what comes next for the British monarchy has never been more critical to the survival of the institution itself. This story is far from over, but the lines have been drawn in the sand. The palace has reached its breaking point, and the consequences will resonate for generations to come. Archie and Lilibet remain at the heart of this drama, children caught between two worlds and two very different visions of what it means to be royal in the modern age. This quiet separation may end up becoming the defining royal story of our time, marking the end of the Sussex era within the British monarchy. The ledger is being closed. Subscribe to Monarchy Cup for more in-depth investigative reports and deep dive briefings on the future of the crown. Thank you for watching this special report.